We're at the main entrance to Chertsey High School, and for the next few weeks we'll also be using the Abbey Rangers car park as another route in. You will need to then leave the car park and walk around the main road to enter through these gates. Let's go through together. So now you're in the main walkway, which has just been built very recently. As you come in, if you're a year 7 or a year 9, you will turn left through the green gates. If you are a year 8 or year 10, you will continue down the new path, past the front of reception and around the back of the school. If you are coming in with a bike, then you will all go down the right hand side here and we'll go and see the new bike sheds. Okay, so here we are at the main entrance, the front reception for the school. Students wouldn't generally come in this way, but this is an entrance that parents would use should they need to visit the school or drop something off. You will see then, this is the new set of double gates, which is the entrance for year 8 and year 10. And just off to the right are the long line of new bike sheds. So if you do have a bike and you are in year 7, 8, 9 or 10, you will come down this way in the morning and drop your bike off. If you are in year 7 or year 9 and you're bringing in a bike, you will then continue around the back of the school until you get to the Muga, the sports surface where you will be spending your outside time before school, during break time and at lunchtime. If you're in year 8 or year 10, you will be walking around the back of the building. But we're going to start by walking around the front as though you are a year 7 or year 9. Come with me. This is what we call the student entrance, and there will be a couple of members of staff over by the main road and the new car park, and also here to meet you in the morning. We'd normally meet with a handshake, but at the moment we won't be doing that, but we'll certainly meet with a nice hello and a nice smile every morning. This is the main Muga area, the multi-use games area, just in front. These cars and the minibus won't be here when you arrive, but this is where, as a year 7 or a year 9, you will be spending your mornings, your break times and your lunch times. So let's go on to the Muga and see how that's going to work. So it's called a Muga because it has many uses. This is where you will spend some of your PE lessons. This is where we would line up in the event of a fire alarm going off. You can see the signs there in the distance for your tutor group. You can see the tennis courts are in the centre, and this is how we will then split the playground. If you are a year 7, you will come down these steps in the morning, but if you're a year 9, you're going to go around the front of the Muga and you're going to enter the side exit on the far side. So year 7s will be coming down this set of stairs and staying on this side of the Muga, and year 9s will go around the side and use the other side of the Muga, so that the tennis nets are always separating you. Come with me, we'll go and have a look at the other way in. And here's that other path I was talking about, just leading round. So year 9s, when you come in the morning, you will come down this path and enter onto the far side of the Muga. Now, if you're not very familiar with Chertsey High School, this is our courtyard area, effectively a playground, but now we're at secondary school, it's known as the courtyard. On the far side, you will see the 3G sports pitch, which we share with Abbey Rangers, and we have use of that during the day for our PE lessons. This is the courtyard that year 7s and 9s will not be spending time in at the moment, because that is where the year 8s and the year 10s will be spending the majority of their mornings, breaks and lunch times. So here we are back at the gates, which are just on the other side of our reception. These will be open in the mornings and in the afternoons. And what I've not mentioned so far is this is also the same way that you would then exit the building and exit the school at the end of the day. If you're a year 8 or year 10, you will be coming through this way, and if you're in year 7 or 9 with a bike, you'll also come this way in the morning. Let's go and have a look at the new bike shed area. So it's really a case of first come, first served along here. There are no restrictions as to where you can put your bike as long as it's locked up and left safely. I would certainly recommend, if there is a student from another year group locking up their bike at the same time as you, that you would move further along to give yourselves some space. Let's now walk around the new access around this side of the school. Okay, I've stopped here because this is the entrance that we know as the orange doors. Even though the doors aren't actually orange, the area inside is orange and the staircase is orange. And this is the entrance and exit for year 8s and year 10s. This is the only doors that you can use to enter through the building during the current COVID regulations. Right, so year 8, year 10, now let's go into the courtyard, which is going to be your area to use when you arrive in the morning, at break time and at lunchtime. Okay, unless you are a new starter at Chertsey High School, you'll be fairly familiar with the courtyard, but you'll notice some changes since you've been away. We have had a new canopy built along the side of the building, which is the area that students will be lining up. So year 9s, while the year 7s are lining up inside, you can be lining up outside for your lunch service. Also, when you have PE lessons at the moment, you would come and line up outside under the canopy so that you can be registered before you go off and take part in your activities. Don't forget as well, if you do have PE on your timetable, you will be coming to school in full Chertsey High School PE kit. You will notice some tape around the playground area here as well. That is to separate the year groups. So when you're coming in and you're a year 10, you are going to enter on this side and you're going to remain on the left-hand side of that tape. So you have some picnic benches you can sit on, you've got plenty of area you can stand. If you're year 8, you're going to continue around this area. And again, you've got a considerable amount of courtyard space to use and also the picnic benches. Remember please that the Muga for year 8 and 10 will be out of bounds based on the fact that the year 7s and 9s will be over there. And the same rules apply, year 7 and 9, this area is out of bounds. Okay, so year 7s and 9s will be entering through this door. So remember, it's in the corner of the courtyard if you're not familiar with this area, and this is what we call the green doors. Again, the doors are not green, but the area inside, which we'll see in a moment, is green. This is the only doors that year 7 and 9s are permitted to use, and please do remember that you won't be using them at the same time as the other year group. So at the end of break, year 7s will go in first, and once the year 7s are fully inside and up the stairs, then the year 9s will be invited to go in. The same applies with the orange doors. Year 10s will always go in first, and then the year 8s will follow. That's at the end of lunch and at the end of break time, and also when we come in the morning. Let's now go inside the green door. Okay, so here we are at the bottom of the green stairs. From here you would have two options. If you're going in for lunch, then you would enter the school building through these double doors. If you're coming in the morning and you're going to tutor time, or indeed you're coming back from break or lunch and you're going to lessons, you will enter up the staircase. However, we're going to go through into the main school building now as though we're going to the dining hall. First thing you probably see when you enter the corridor is the tape on the floor. Now this separates the corridor, and we have a keep left policy at the moment, so wherever you are walking in the school you must stand on the left hand side of the corridor. If you're coming in for lunch, then you would come in along the left hand side, and then you would cross the line safely, making sure there's no one else passing you, and then this is the line that you will form along the side wall of the dining hall, and when it's your turn to then go in, you will enter through these double doors. Let's go into the dining hall. Okay, so here we are in the dining hall. Some people might call it the canteen, but we like to call it a dining hall. You will also see along the middle of the floor is a bright yellow tape line. That is because year 7s and 9s would enter the canteen or the dining hall on this entrance, but they can only use this half of the room. Year 8s and year 10s, you will be coming in and out through the other set of doors on the far side, and you will be on the other side, therefore, of that yellow tape. If you're not familiar with the room, it's a bright, airy room. It's a lovely place to be, and all the chairs will be down, and you can still sit next to the people in your year group, and then the tables will be cleaned, deep cleaned at the end of every lunch sitting. So the order of who will be having lunch, we will start with year 7s lining up on this side, year 10s will be lining up on the far side. Once they've both been and gone, then the year 9s will come in again from the far side here, the green side, and then finally the year 8s would come in on the far side there. So here we are back out on the ground floor corridor on the green side of the building, the green stairs side of the building. We're going to walk down this corridor. The only possible reason I could think why any year 7s, 8s or 9s outside of lesson time would need to be here is if they're lining up for lunch and possibly they want to go and use one of the toilets which has been allocated for their year group at the end of the corridor. Let's go and have a look at those. It would be very tempting here, wouldn't it, to cut across the corner, but please do make sure you're following this tape line as you come around the side of the building. Now, these toilets will not be in use, but the hand washing stations, which we can have a look at now, will be. So this is an area that year 7 and 9 can come and wash their hands on the ground floor. While we're talking about cleaning hands, you will see dotted around the building as well the hand sanitizer dispensers. So please do not hesitate to, as often as you want, to use those hand sanitizer units, or indeed to bring in your own and sanitize your hands throughout the day. For year 10s, when you're on the ground floor, there will be 2 toilets on the right hand side here that you can use, and you can see we've allocated one for boys and one for girls. Year 10s will have the ability to cross through this path, even though there is a sign there saying no access, based on where their lessons are on the ground floor. But for years 7, 8 and 9, there will be absolutely no passing the centre of this corridor area here. If you are a year 8 student or a year 10 student, your hand washing station, which is on your half of the school here, is just around this wall here in those yellow toilet areas. You will notice one of our sets of lockers here. There are some on the other floors as well. They are all not in use at the moment due to the COVID regulations and the amount that we would be touching these things. The lockers are out of use at the moment, but as soon as we can, we will have them reopened and ready for use for the year 7s. Okay, so we are on the orange stairs side of the building. Generally speaking, only year 10s will be coming down here and using the lessons and the classroom areas. But if you have drama lessons and your drama lesson is in the drama studio, years 7, 8 and 9 will be working their way around this corridor as well to enter the drama studio on the right hand side. Let's now go further up this corridor, just to remind some of you, having not possibly been in the building for quite a long time, what else is on this corridor. This is the part of the school where year 8s and 10s will be lining up along the side of the corridor, ready to go into the dining hall on the right hand side as we pass Mrs. Mullick's office and the doors for the purple stairs, which are not for student use. We then get to the reception area, and this is where you would come as well if you were particularly unwell and you needed to come to the medical room area. This is the double door set for year 8 and year 10, and again if we just pop inside from this side we'll be able to see there's a hand sanitising dispenser unit on the wall there, which every student would be asked to use as they come into and out of the dining hall. Okay, so we're back at the bottom of the green stairs where year 7s and 9s will enter the building. We've got another hand sanitizer unit here and another reminder of which side of the corridor we stay on. Another thing I'd like to talk about before we go up the green stairs is what happens if the weather is particularly wet and we're not able to be outside on the courtyard on the Nougat or on the 3G. Year 7s, you'll be sent to the sports hall, which is through the double doors and to the right. Year 8s, you would be sent to the main hall where we would normally have our assemblies. Year 9 and Year 10, you would be sent to your tutor group rooms. Let's now go up the left-hand side of the green stairs. So you can see some signs on the doors, Year 7 only. There is very little reason why any Year 9s or any other year group should be able to try and come through these doors. The dance studio is here. Some students will have their drama lessons in the dance studio, so in that scenario you would come up your appropriate staircase and then head safely along the corridor to the dance studio. You'll see here as well we've got a sign on the wall which says Year 9 only. That's because Year 9 will be going then up to the second floor where you'll find your tutor rooms and have the majority of your lessons upstairs. Let's go through where the Year 7s will come through in the mornings and in the afternoons. So here we are next to our ethos sign, knowledge, determination and love. We're going to need a lot of determination to get through quite a tricky return to school, I think, for everyone, but it will be wonderful and we're just going to make it work together. So as you come along the corridor, Year 7s, you will find your tutor rooms are on the English corridor. So let's come along here. So the first tutor group will be 125, 124 and working all the way along this side. Year 7s, you will have most of your lessons on this corridor. Unless it's PE, unless it's drama, that's pretty much the only exceptions. ICT lessons will take place in computer rooms and the computer room is on this floor, again on this corridor, just on the right hand side. So here we are back at the first floor landing for the green stairs where the Year 9s would come up to the second floor. Let's go on. More sanitizer. So here we are on the green stairs side of the second floor. This is pretty much where the Year 9s are going to be living for the foreseeable future. To my left is the library area. Now there is no access here for any students under the current restrictions. There will be a supply of books in your tutor rooms that you can borrow and return so that we are safe and not touching everybody else's property. This corridor is the home of science and maths and also your head of year offices. The head of year 10 will reside in this office when not teaching. And then just further along on the left hand side is your head of year 7, 8 and 9. Year 9s, you will be split along this corridor. Whether you're doing French or Spanish, you might be in one half and then using the other half. And that will all be explained by your tutor when you arrive this week. So here we are outside of one of the best offices probably in the world. That's Mr. Howell's office. Please do feel free to come along and say hello anytime you like if you are only in Year 9, because my office is on the side of the building that Year 9 are going to be spending most of their time. If you do want to speak to me otherwise, it's best to speak to me so you can see me moving around the school. The same applies with any other member of staff, that there is really no reason you should be going to their office unless they've asked you to go. You'll see in the corridors as well more signs. So Year 9s, this is your point where you would stop. And then you would walk back that way and use the green stairs. We don't want any conflicting student groups at all, so we need to be really careful that we do follow the signs. There are plenty of signs around that explain these are Year 9 toilets, and you can see these on the walls, so you can use these toilets here as well. If you come in here, you'll see there is a barrier that has been put in here So it's very clear that the year 9 stay on this side. But if you're year 8, you're going to be coming in from the other side, because you're going to be spending a lot of your time on the second floor, having come up the orange staircase to my side here, and using the science and maths rooms as your tutor rooms and most of your subject rooms. So year 8, you can see that you would walk in to use the toilet area here, and you've got boys and girls split there as well. Let's now go back down to the first floor and see where the year 10s will be. So onto the first floor, this is the year 10 area. You might know it as the area where you would have your humanities subjects, history, geography, RS, and also your languages subjects. All rooms on this corridor are in use this year, and this is the year 10 toilet area. You've got a very clear sign here, should be no confusion, and then you've also got another sign stopping any year 10s going across that part of the corridor. As I said before, if year 10s do need to get to a particular teacher or a particular meeting and you've been asked to go somewhere, then you will be permitted to cross that line, but only in those very few rare situations. So here we are at the end of your return to school tour. The final thing I would like to talk about is the 3G pitch. The 3G pitch will be in use at lunchtimes, but for year 8 and year 10 only. And again, it will be split so that one half is for the year 8s and one half is for the year 10s. And please remember, if you are on the 3G pitch at lunchtime, that you'll be sent back over into the courtyard area with a good few minutes to spare, so you've got time to get yourself ready to go back in for your lessons. Finally, year 7, 8, 9 and 10, we are very excited to welcome you back to Chertsey High School. If you're in year 7, don't be worried, it's all wonderful here, I can assure you. We know what we're doing, we'll get through this together, and any concerns you have, please don't hesitate to talk to your friends, talk to your teachers, talk to your tutors. We are here for you, and we will have a wonderful year. Thank you, goodbye.